Hello, welcome to Side Note, your weekly tangent and unfiltered chat with your host Amber Hannah, because there is always a side note. This is your Valentine's episode. Happy Valentine's, everybody. In today's episode, we are going to go over a little bit of a giggle about some dating fails, my dating advice, some side notes of the week, Valentine's edition, and also ways to make you feel sexy on a date. So there's actually quite a lot to be getting into. So let's just get straight into it. Also, hope you like the Valentine's edition of the set. We're obviously on a strict budget here, but hope you're enjoying that. I'm just checking, what will the date be? It'll be Monday the 16th, won't it? So Valentine's has already been and gone by the time this episode is released. That's why I thought I would make it around more like the dating side. But I hope everyone had a fab Valentine's Day, whether you're single, in a relationship, married, shagging about, whatever you're doing, mate. I hope you had a fab Valentine's. Anyway, on to the Valentine's side notes of the week. So, like I say, I have selected these specifically to be around Valentine's Day theme. Flowers are cute, but consistency is cuter, for sure. Cut the shit, right? If your boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever is cheating on you every time they go out on the weekend, but then they're buying you flowers on Valentine's Day, whining and dining you, taking you out for a nice meal, let's be honest about it. That ain't it, babes. Don't let the nice swanky night in a hotel and flowers, the gifts, the amazing night of sex that you've had, whatever it is, don't let that take over the reality of the situation. I think Valentine's is very like rose-tinted goggle ones. Next side note. Being single on Valentine's Day. Valentine's is for everyone, celebrating yourself and loving yourself. I have had so many Valentine's Days single. I remember one year, this is just before I met Harvey, I basically had my candles lit, I wrote in my journal, I drank some cacao, I had a really nice bath, candlelit ones, ordered my favourite pizza. I just celebrated it on my own. I did some tarot cards. I felt mint, to be quite frank. And I think Valentine's is about remembering it does not matter whether you're with someone or not. Celebrate yourself, celebrate your friends. Life's a journey and we all need to love ourselves before. I'm no stranger to a Valentine's Day spent alone. And you know what? How nice that is when you learn to love yourself in that way and actually do some nice things for you. It's not about, oh, there's no one to take me out for dinner. Take yourself out for dinner, bitch. Let's get into the main episode, my dating advice. So what inspired me was one of my friends actually asked me for some dating advice the other day, and I thought, Valentine's is coming up. Why not do a little dating edition in terms of what I would tell my friends going into first date, or they've just started dating again, whatever it may be. If you're single, newly single, thinking about breaking up with someone and thinking, shit, what'll happen when I get out there? I've got my tips and my tricks of how you can be that bitch on your next date. Let's get into it. My first tip on how to enjoy a date is to expect absolutely nothing. I don't mean it in terms of lowering your expectations or lowering your standards. What I mean is go into it as just, okay, this date could just be me enjoying someone's company for the night, feeling sexy, feeling myself, feeling confident because, I've got my flirt on, it's all nice, it's all flowing. It doesn't have to be anything. It doesn't need to be, is this my future husband or wife? This could just be about you feeling your confident self, feeling sexy, getting in touch with that little dating side of yourself again, the little charm that you have when you go on your first dates, whatever it may be. There was a time when I was dating quite a bit. Essentially, I ruined a lot of dates in my head before I'd even got there because I pictured it to be a certain way and then they've turned out to be different. But actually, if I take a step back, I really genuinely enjoyed my time on the date. And no, it didn't end up being anything. Did I care? No, not really. When we gear things up to be a certain way, we actually can end up having a particular viewpoint of it in our head about how this particular date is going to be. And if anything, it kind of ruins it. Do you know what? Could be that you go and meet your future husband. It could be that you meet someone that's going to be a really valuable lesson in your life. It could be that you meet someone that in the first 10 seconds, they show you what you do or you don't want in a future partner. It could be that they teach you something about yourself that night. It could be that you have some great date night sex, like let's cut the shit. Sometimes that's absolutely fab. Just go out, enjoy yourself. Why not? Let loose a little bit. Having expectations of what it could be kind of hinder it in a way. Like when I went on a date with Harvey for the first time, I didn't really have any expectations of how it would go, what this would end up being. My next tip is to listen to your body. Get in touch with your body a little bit more. Your body will tell you signs about something without you even realizing it. And you might realize it, but choose to ignore it. Don't ignore your gut. I've been on some dates where they maybe should have ended sooner. Maybe I didn't feel safe, didn't feel respected, and I've kind of like carried them on. And actually your body is giving you warning signs, but we kind of like get so caught up in the moment of like, we're trying to impress this new person. We're trying to put on this like fresh dating face. It is really good to get in touch with that and to like align before you go onto a date and make sure that you're being safe. I think anyone going on a first date should make sure that they're in a safe situation. Obviously make sure that it's somewhere that like, you know, your friends know where you're going, know who you're meeting, whereabouts you'll be, what time you go in. That for me is like an absolute must. Have fun, be yourself, all of that, but make sure that you're safe in the process. Can't really not be said nowadays because fuck me, the way the world's going, we all need to fucking watch our backs, you get me? Yeah, I think like I say, dating can actually just be a process of trial and error and showing you what you do and you don't want in a person. When I split up with my boyfriend when I was about, was I 20 or 21? And I had a phase after that of just dating so much. And I am not going to lie, like a lot of them dates, they didn't go anywhere. But I'll tell you what they did. They showed me, that boyfriend at the time, I was with him for like 4 years from when I was like 17 to like 21. And obviously I'd not really been in my adult life dating, so this kind of felt like, right, I'm 21 now, let's kind of see what's out there and what people are like. And fuck me, it showed me everything and more what I actually didn't want from men. I actually went celibate for about a year. I had a complete break from any sort of like dating, seeing anyone, anything like that. I was fully just celibate. That's something I'll get into in another episode actually, because that's tea in itself. But that phase did me fucking wonders. Dating gives you a lot of life lessons about who you are and what you do and you don't want. That is the tea, mate. So sometimes go into it. You don't have to think, is this my future husband or not? Let them carry on. You can be learning a lot about yourself in the process, future husband or not. Do you get me? Kind of goes without saying, but if you're feeling nervous, right, have a little drink before you go. Because do you know what I've done before? I've shown up and not had a drink before I went and then ended up panic ordering drinks and just like drinking and just getting too pissed. Think if you set yourself up a little bit before you go out and you have a drink or two, ease the nerves a little bit, and then you're already kind of going into it a bit like, right, I don't need to like panic and order bare drinks. Do you get me? That would be one of my biggest fucking tips. I think especially like safety wise, you do not want to be getting absolutely rat-arsed on a first date. Like you want to be able to scope them out first and make sure that you're in a good situation. Do you get me? If you don't feel right, gotta sound like the fucking, you know, the train thing. If you see something that doesn't look right, speak to staff or call 61016. See it, say it, fucking sorted. Walk to the bathroom, right? Say you're going to the toilet, go and text a friend. See if it's a case of like, you just feel a bit nervous, you need to calm the nerves down, that's fine. If you genuinely don't feel right, which feeds into when I was saying about trusting yourself and trusting the feelings that you've got in your body. Is your body trying to tell you something? Do you know what I mean? You can also say that you want to go out for a cigarette. And to be honest, I've been out for a cig before or said I'm going out for a cig and not gone back. There are some situations where it's like, actually, I don't want to be in this person's presence, to be quite frank. They don't really seem like the type of person that's going to take it lightly with me saying it. I'm off, mate. And you know what? Let them think about why. You know, if you've got like this absolute toss pot on a first date, let them think, why she not come back? Let them think about it. They need to. Some of these people need to be thinking on a little bit. So they are my kind of first dating tips. Like, be confident, have your wits about you, expect nothing in the best way. I've learned a lot of valuable lessons from expecting nothing, basically. Dating doesn't need to be this big extravagant thing. It literally can be a learning curve, a fun night out, some amazing wild sex that you had one night. It could just be an amazing kiss, a shit kiss, bit of flirting. You might have not felt confident or felt yourself for ages, and then that one day, even though nothing went further and he pied you off the next week, you felt like that bitch, you felt fire on the night. Sometimes that is what it's all about. Right, let's get into things that will make you feel sexy on your first date. Let's go. Make sure you are wearing amazing perfume that complements you. This, for me, just feels like that is just part of the experience. This is my night. Whether it ends up good or not, do you get me? At least you smelt good in the process. My fave perfumes, especially for a date night, is Lost Cherry Tom Ford. That is like my signature scent. Like, I absolutely love it. I do also like Angel by is it Thierry Mugler? Thierry Mugler? Mugler? Fuck knows, Muggler. We'll go with that. Yeah, love Angel as well. And a bit of them together, nice combo, because it adds a bit of like a darker, muskier vibe to it. Do you get me? There's a brand, if you're into like kind of partying and all of that, there's actually a brand called Discotheque, right? And they have such a cool brand and vibe to it. It's like kind of sexy vibe, party girl-esque perfumes. And Harvey got me some for Christmas, and it comes in like a little, what looks like a cigarette packet, and then you open it up and then you pull them out like the cigarettes. The names are just so cool. There's like Lola at the coat check, that's really sexy. There's like All Night Until First Light, like the names are just so cool. So yeah, I've really been loving them at the moment, actually. I have another thing called a Love Aura Spray, and it's like essential oils, which they have, is it aphrodisiacs? Is that the word? It's aphrodisiac based, so it gets you excited, right? So it's not necessarily a perfume, but you just kind of spray it around your head, like over your kind of where your aura would be, basically. And I sprayed it once after a shower, and I thought, I'm just going to put it on and just kind of see what Harvey does. Like, is Harvey going to react? Like, I don't know. He was sniffing me out, mate. He was like, what's that? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you just smell really like nice, like really interesting. I thought that might have worked. Love Aura Spray, mate. Up the love aura. You can get like all different ones. There's like a dark feminine one. I'll try and find a link and maybe put it in the podcast description so that people can have a little gander, because I love them. And bringing me on to Eccentric Molecules. Now, Eccentric Molecules basically is a scent, like a perfume. It essentially makes the scent based on your pheromones. I've had some very interesting encounters wearing eccentric molecules, some very funny ones as well, where I've had some friends be like, oh my God, like, can't explain it, but you just smell great. And it's made me giggle, because I'm like, yeah, they're obviously sniffing out the pheromones. Eccentric Molecules is great paired with one of your actual other perfumes. It's based on your scent as a person. So I think wearing some sexy glasses, get some nice glasses on, and you'll just feel like really put together, and it's a little bit endearing. It's kind of interesting vibes, like glasses, nice jewelry, get the appearance looking like you've put effort in, but without really having to. You know, nice jewelry on, nice scent. Also, it goes without saying, you need to take with you a banging lip combo. Like, you want to be able to top it up through the night, feel fresh, feel sexy. For me, nothing is complete without a lip combo. The lip combo is where it's at. You can't go on a date without a banging lip combo, mate. And part of that is having a lovely lip gloss that you can just top up through the night and feel all nice. So I would recommend for date night Clinique Black Honey. Oh my God, the Black Honey range. You can get like a kind of lipstick, a lipstick lip gloss blend. It's like a long stick, but it's like a shiny lipstick, if that makes sense. That is a solid choice to keep topped up with like a bit of a colour and just a really nice finish to the lip. And then they also have a gloss version of Black Honey, and I tried it just recently and it is 10 out of 10. That is your ideal date night lipstick. I absolutely love it. It is fab. I also love Laneige lip glosses. They are so nice to put on. They're not sticky. Do you know what? You can get really nice scented ones. Like you could even take a little vanilla one with you, and then if you end up having a cheeky kiss, at least they're tasting vanilla. Do you get me? That is the perk of having a nice scented lip gloss. They do like a cinnamon sugar one, a chocolate one, berry. If you have a nice Rhode lip gloss and you've got a Rhode phone case, you can't really go wrong, because it stops you from fucking around. You can just whip it out at any point, and Rhode is really nice. It's not too sticky, not too like overly shiny. It's like just kind of like a really nice middle ground. And how can I forget the Kylie Cosmetics lip kit, the glossy combo. Oh my God, thank me later. The gloss is great. It's not sticky at all. The shine on it is stunning. and the combos are perfect. Like, that is probably your date night recipe for greatness. Go and get a Kylie lip kit, babes, because I always thought, well, I wouldn't buy like a makeup brand by a celebrity or whatever. With Kylie Cosmetics, I understand it. I completely understand it. It's a big in for me. Kylie lip kits. Didn't think I'd ever say it, but I'm here for the Kylie lip kit, babes. Anyway, would I wear a straight up red lip on a first date? I probably wouldn't. I just don't think I would definitely wear a red lip on a date, but I think I would do that a few dates in, because for me, I think the first date is all about like the subtle details, whereas red lip gives a bit like, I've really tried here. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, you know, you want to put an effort in and you want them to know that you've made that effort. But for me, the red lip is personally a no. You do you, babes. You want to wear a red lip? I personally would wait to do a straight up red lip. However, red nail theory, okay? Red nail theory is basically that if you have red nails, it automatically makes you like more attractive or something like that. It's something in like psychology, because red as a colour is the colour of excitement. If you went into like a red room, you automatically, I think it actually increases your blood flow, something like that. Don't exactly quote me on this, but I've listened to a podcast about it before and it's very, very interesting. Red essentially makes you more excited. Me and Harvey stayed at a sex hotel in Vietnam and it was like a red room, like it was all red. And obviously the vibe must be that that's to get you excited and it's all like passion, love vibes, do you get me? Not much of the funny business did in fact occur, because I've had the shits basically. So when you're traveling, it's quite easy to get sick, you could say. And yeah, let me tell you that it didn't really get put to use in there, to be quite frank. Great experience, lovely hotel, but yeah, we'd actually tried to leave Ho Chi Minh to go to Dalat, which is somewhere else we were traveling to in Vietnam. Harvey was so unwell, and we were actually like, I fear that if you'd have got on that bus, you would have shat on the bus, and there's no toilets on the buses. They have to stop. And do you know what? Sometimes they're not happy about stopping. Like, if you ask them to stop, fuck me, I literally was like, where do you want me to piss, mate? Are you serious? The guy was just like, no, we're not stopping for another 2 hours. I was like, well, good luck to me then, because where the fuck am I going to go to the toilet? Anyway, I've really, really diverted there. Essentially, what ended up happening was we had to go back to Ho Chi Minh because we were like, we can't get on this 7-hour bus. We were like, fuck it. Do you know what looks really cool? This sex hotel, right? The rooms were lovely and it had a sauna and a hot tub in the hotel room. I was living the life of Riley, babes. Like, it had a big projector screen. We watched the Super Mario Brothers film. We had a really, really nice time, but unfortunately, there was no funny business in said sex hotel because of the situation. It was a little bit out of hand, bit of a disaster, but I was here for it anyway. Point being, the hotel room was bright red. And that brings me right back to my theory I was discussing about 10 minutes ago, before I've started chatting absolute shit about getting the shits while you're traveling, that red nail theory is like it's a proven psychological thing. Red nails are a perfect touch for a first date. That was where I was going with that whole story. This is what you'll get a lot on Side Note. I will completely go off on a tangent and you'll probably find out some very irrelevant information that you didn't want to know, to be quite frank. Red nails is simple but effective. It's not as in your face as the red lip, but the red nail creates excitement, passion, allure. Do you know what I mean? Sexy vibes without being too try hard. And it's proven psychologically to actually work and generate excitement. They are little things that I would be doing to make myself feel sexy before the first date. Have a nice hot shower, a bath, do an everything shower, like get everything popping, do you get me? Get some nice music on and enjoy yourself. Go and have a laugh, get yourself a nice Malibu and Coke before you go, do you get me? That'd be my typical choice. Cheeky Malibu and Coke and then off a pop. Make sure that you've got your little get out clause, little fire exit door escape if required. Anyway, enjoy that first date, bitches. Let's get on to my date disasters and date fails. Right, I wanted to round this episode off with a bit of a giggle. I have had all sorts of situations. It leaves you genuinely questioning life and genuinely questioning like, what the fuck? I've had dates where they've offered to pay and they've literally tapped their card and it's declined, and then they've asked me to get the full bill. Now, here's the tea on that for me. I genuinely don't mind splitting. Like, for me, there's been dates where I've genuinely been like, I don't want you to pay because no offense, mate, I am not seeing you again. Couldn't think of anything worse. I would rather, just because of my own sense of not pride, but I would just feel a lot better that I've paid. So I've just genuinely been like, I'm straight up paying for mine. That's fine. Whereas like if I really like someone and then they've offered to pay and they want to, like, obviously by all means be my guest, but I'm not one of them where it's like, you know, the guy always has to pay, whatever, like, let's cut the shit, this is life. I will also pay my own way. But yeah, in certain situations, I've just been like, I'll get it. Them nights where they've gone terribly wrong and they've tried to tap the card and then had me pay the full bill, like, and the date was shit anyway. Are you fucking mad? But when you're in that situation, it's like, what do you do? What else am I meant to do? I'm on the spot here. Do you know what I mean? It was fucking cringe. Like, I genuinely, you know, I'm not expecting you to pay, but the whole like tapping your card and it declining on the first date, it's just a bit icky, innit? Let's just cut the shit. It's a little bit icky, that. Can't cope. I also had a date, this was like years ago, and I think we've probably all been on one and been there. He was fit out his head. He was a proper fitty. Like, I had a really, really nice night. All he did, he obviously wasn't over his ex. Like, we've all been on a date where we've not been over our ex, and unfortunately you end up, you know, having a few drinks and then all you're doing is all roads lead back to the ex. It's like, oh, my ex did this, oh, my ex that. Yeah, well, you know, this about my ex, that about my ex. Shut the fuck up. That kind of works well if you go on a bit of a pity date with someone where you're both not over your exes and you want to chat through it. Fantastic, you're both on a vibe. But when you're trying to enjoy yourself and all someone is doing is talking about their ex, it's like, shut up. Okay, I get it, you're not over them, but you know what, I sat through the pain because I was just thinking, you're fit, you. Like, he was right fit. I really enjoyed myself. So we still had a good night. I was like, do you know what? He's fit. I've had a nice night. He was still a nice guy. We had a good laugh. Like, we got on really well. Him going on about his ex that night was actually a bit better than some of the other dates that I had at the time, which I'll get on to one of them because this was in my phase when I was dating quite a lot. I've been on some dates, some absolute fucking nightmares, mate. Like, some class A dickheads, major clowns. Some of them like speaking to a brick wall. Some of them with some very like concerning viewpoints. But again, like, it's all about trial and error. It's all about figuring out like what you want in a person. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes you can just have a bit of a giggle in your head about it. If you just think, God, what a fucking idiot, have a laugh about it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's probably people that have been on dates with me and they've probably had a right laugh about it. Do you know what I mean? It works both ways, hon. You guys. Yeah, I went on a date with this guy and we'd like matched on Hinge. We met up for this date. This was like way back when. And I remember it was like just after COVID, like, you know, when they just reopened everything. So everywhere was fucking rammed. But he came to Liverpool. Liverpool was where I lived at the time. So he was like, do you know what? You just kind of like make the recommendation of where we're going. And I was like, yeah, fairs. Like, he doesn't like live here. I don't mind planning where we're going to go. Place where I planned to go, it was walk-ins only. And we rocked up and it was like queuing to get in. And he made a comment right at the start. I laughed because I thought, you must be joking. He was like, oh, women, they just can't do anything, can they? I started laughing like, haha. He's like, I'm being serious. He was deadpan straight in the face. He was like, no, I'm being serious. He was like, women cannot do anything. I asked you one simple question to organise where we're going for a drink. This is no joke. This is at the start of the date. I'm just looking at him like, the bars have just opened again. I'm thinking, yes, first date after COVID. And I'm with this absolute tosspot scum, mate. It's a no from me. So I then thought, right, I'm going to humour him a little bit. I'm like, right, do you know what? I'm out. I'll get him to buy me drinks, whatever. He was buying me drinks all night. The comments with like an underlying kind of misogyny were just carrying on through the night. And obviously, few drinks in, I ended up going off my head at this guy. Oh my God, genuinely. But you know what pissed me off? You know when you're kicking off because you've had this big build up of, this guy's a prick, and then I'm going to go in on him later. I'm going to go absolutely in and show him who's fucking boss. That was my vibe. Tried to make me look like I was just some psycho bitch. Like, where's this come from? You're a weirdo. And I was just going, you know, when you're drunk and it makes you worse, you're like, no, you're the fucking weirdo, mate. You're the weirdo. Like, you're not all right. And then he was like laughing. I was like, no, he's laughing at me. I left him. We'd racked up this big bar tab. I walked out. I was like, enjoy your night. You fucking pay that bill, mate. Ta-ra. Walked out, had a little cig outside. Anyway, followed me out, didn't he? And I thought, are you getting like some sort of kick out of this, mate, or what? Mr. Misogyny, it's a no from me. He just kept making digs about like women being incapable and women being this and women that. And I'm like, you do realise you're on a date with said woman? Absolute no from me. So I strutted my stuff through Concert Square. Off I went. I thought, fuck him. And he's walking after me, innit? I know for him, we did not gel. He did not actually like me. But whether it was like some sort of game to him that he could win me over, when it was clear that like I was either, because he kept walking after me and going, oh, stop playing around, stop playing. Babe, I'm not playing. You're a freak. Do you know what I mean? Ta-ra, ciao. And do you know what? It's such like tiny dick energy, mate. Shit like that, like, oh, women aren't capable, women this and women that. That is an absolute no-go from me. Oh my God, I'm going to round it off with a minging one. Just a side note, trigger warning, like this is just it is a bit minging. I mean, I don't know whether I've made it sound worse than it is, but I had this boyfriend when I was younger, and basically we were like really, really fresh. I was in my teens. I think I was like 17, maybe 16. Like I was really young, but do you know what? It's really like, it's something that I've carried through since day dot. Do you know what I mean? This guy, he had a cold, and I went round his house, right? And I went in his bedroom, and there was tissues everywhere, like mountains of tissues, like snot rags that he's just not chucked out. I was like, you know, when you go in a room and there's like a musk in the air, not even joking, it was like airborne. I just walked in, like, first of all, open a window, go and get changed, and what the fuck are all these snot rags on the floor, love? Oh God, I'm basically heaving, trigger warning here. This is where I rang my nana. I literally rang my nana, and I thought, Nana, pick me up right now. Swear to God, I got her to come round and pick me up straight away. He was spitting phlegm into a, oh God, I actually need a minute. You know when something scarred you that much? Like genuinely, I'm now turning 27, and this is still with me to this point. Like my eyes feel like they're watering right now. I'm not even joking. He was spitting phlegm into a pint glass, for fuck's sake. Are you trying to put me off? Do you know what? That's exactly what he might have been doing. He might have been trying to put me off, well and truly, because it worked. I went to the toilet. I was like, I'm going to have a toilet. Bear in mind, right? The toilet was connected to his bedroom. So I'm thinking, why have we got a phlegm cup and mountains of snot rags when you could just go to the toilet? I don't get that. Don't get me wrong, cheeky nose blowing the night when you've got a cold, I get it. You might have the odd tissue here and there, but for me, that did it for me, right? I just found that the biggest ick. It was disgusting. I was like, Nana, come and pick me up now. I went to the toilet. I literally rang her. I was like, Nana, please, like, I need you to come. And my Nana fully flew round in a little car and picked me up. I was like, I've got to go. Like, I need to go and see my Nana. He was like, why do you need to go? And I genuinely was just a bit like, I'm deeply concerned that you don't realise why I need to leave. I can't sit in this room with you and fucking phlegm cup. And it wasn't even just a bit of phlegm. He was doing it in front of me. Like, he was spitting phlegm into a pint glass. The pint glass, for reference, was about, like, I'm going to say just under... No, I need a minute. I'm so sorry. It was like just under half full. There is an absolute disaster for you. That for me was deeply concerning. Finally, on my date night fails, basically I went to Turkey, right? This is something I'll discuss at some point on the podcast. It was a bit of a mad experience. I was like trading Forex and drop shipping at the time and shit like that, and I got asked to go out to Turkey to film this like promo video on a yacht. But that's a story for another day. I was really going through stuff at the time, and the guys running it were like, do you know what? You've done so much for us. We'll pay for you to stay out here for another week. And I was like, do you know what? If I can avoid home right now, I'll avoid it, because there was a lot going on in my life at the time. Again, another kind of worms. We'll get into this at some point on side note. I stayed out there, right? Ended up meeting these guys on this bus to go on like, you know, like an excursion. And then they were like at the bus stop getting on the bus. And like they were quite a bit older than me at the time. One of them I really, really fancied. He asked me out on a date that night. And I'm thinking, buzzing, why not? I'm on holiday. I'm on my Ollie Bob. Anyway, basically. So obviously I mentioned he had a friend, right? And I've gone on this date. And obviously, again, you know, cut the shit. It was only a guy that I've met on holiday. Am I that arse? No. Kissed me on the date. And then he basically was like, I've asked you to come here to have a threesome with my friend. I was like, right. Yeah, the space I'm in at the moment, it wasn't quite giving threesome energy, to be quite frank. Good for you for asking straight up. We love a straight up king. But that was an absolute disaster. I was just a search for a threesome, basically. So that was a massive fucking fail. But anyway, that rounds off my date night fail. And you know what? I've definitely got more where that came from, but we can't really go on too much longer because we have been chatting for a long time. Now, I'm going to get up our side note for life to round off the episode. Side note for life is just like a little quote to kind of take with you. Do you know what? Let's get a dating quote. quote, dating quotes, right? This is funny. Dating me is like finding out the song that you always skipped is actually fire. Dating tip 1, worry less about if they like you and figure out more if you actually like them. Been on dates before where you're that caught up in, how am I coming across? Do I look all right? Am I saying things right? Where actually you kind of take a step back, like, wait, I'm not even interested in them. Stop choosing what isn't choosing you. If it's not mutual, why pursue it? Stop wasting your time on dickheads that are not interested. Protect your energy. Get clear on what you want in a relationship and not just what you want to receive. What is the value that you are bringing to your partner and vice versa? Know what you want from a partner. What are your non-negotiables? What can you be flexible on? Go on dates, trial and error, and find out what it is that you want, and then you'll get one step closer to finding that person. I'm going to round the episode off here. Happy Valentine's Day all. I hope everybody had a fucking fab time. I really, really hope that you enjoyed the episode. If you can please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, I would eternally appreciate it, honestly. It helps me out so much if you can do that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Give it a like, give it a comment, all the rest. Any engagement I can get at this point is super helpful. If you've got a story, a dilemma, a side note, submit your side notes to sidenotethepod@gmail.com. And I would absolutely love to help you out with a problem that you've got, read your story time out. But yeah, I would love it if people were writing in. I know I'm a bit early on at this point, but I'm going to keep putting it out there until somebody does. Anyway, thank you so much for listening and watching. I have a new episode out every Monday across Apple Music, Spotify and YouTube. So I will see you next Monday.